NFL draft nerds, welcome in. This is a big one. Daniel Jeremiah's first 2025 mock draft. Fired up to get into it. Daniel Jeremiah, one of the kings, right, of the NFL draft world when it comes to NFL draft media, and it's a big week for the NFL draft. Shrine Bowl wrapping up. Obviously, you have Senior Bowl getting kicked off as well, and we do have some confirmed weigh-ins. We're going to talk about that when we get more of those later on. Some really interesting dudes. I'm fired up to get into it, but we're just going to mock the mock, take a look at Daniel Jeremiah's mock draft here today. Probably going to get y'all one either later today or tomorrow from myself. Thinking about doing that fully predictively, not 100% sure yet, but without further ado, Daniel Jeremiah's mock draft 1.0 for 2025. Love the way Daniel looks at the draft. Exciting to get into this one. And Daniel, he says right here, he tends to base his mock drafts on what he's hearing from around the league. So this is more predictive, more about, reading the tea leaves, what might be happening. So at 1, the Tennessee Titans take Abdul Carter. This is a pick I would love. I would love for the Titans to be able to trade down potentially for a team that's desperate for a quarterback. And the Titans, they could be looking at quarterback themselves. I have said this for a very long time. I don't think either of the top quarterbacks in this class are worth the pick at 1 overall. So whether they're going to go the veteran route or maybe take a quarterback in the second or third round and try to develop them that way, compete with Will Levis, go get a vet, whatever it may be. I think Abdul Carter, the edge out of Tennessee, would be a home run of a pick to pair up with Jeffrey Simmons, Tavondre Sweat. You've got a couple other nice edge players over there. So I think that would be really jump-starting that defensive front and turning it into potentially the most dangerous in football. I think that's a good idea. Cleveland Browns going to get in Travis Hunter, who is the top prospect in this class for me. I have it Travis Hunter and Abdul Carter at the top. So this one makes a lot of sense. Whether he's playing cornerback or wide receiver, and I personally think he should play wide receiver, less wear and tear, less volatility at the position, more money at the position by a wide margin. I mean, the top wide receiver I think is getting paid about $35 million, top corner getting paid about $24 million. You do the math. I think Travis Hunter should play wide receiver. But either way, for the Cleveland Browns, I think this is a great pick. New York Giants taking Cam Ward. Desperate at quarterback. This is a regime that might be better off taking a flyer on a vet. I don't know. It's weird because, how long is the leash now with Dayball and Shane and company? So Cam Ward offers a ton of playmaking ability. He offers playmaking ability both with his arm and his legs. He is able to throw off platform really well, throw odd arm angles. He has a sixth sense in the pocket at avoiding pressure, and he's not going to be a blazing speedster at quarterback, but he kind of has that Patrick Mahomes. Just knows when to take off with the ball, how far he needs to get, and he usually gets the job done with his legs. But there's a lot of variance in his play, some turnover, a lot of turnover-worthy plays, has not played a lot from within structure within the pocket at an NFL level, like NFL-type scheme. It's been a lot of RPO stuff from within the pocket for him. But talented overall football player, just too many questions for me to feel comfortable this high. But with the Giants, I mean, maybe DJ's hearing that they're interested in Cam Ward there. So definitely fascinating to see how the quarterbacks will play out here. New England Patriots taking Will Campbell. I talked about this a long time ago. I felt last year, I just felt that Drake May was somehow going to be a Patriot way back before Jaden Daniels even became what he became at LSU. I just had this feeling like Drake May is going to be a Patriot. Will Campbell feels like a Patriot to me as well for some reason. I'm not sure why, but they could use him whether it's at guard or tackle or even at center. I mean, I think he's going to be a fantastic pro. I like him a lot better on the interior than I do at tackle. So they need help all over the offensive line. The Jaguars taking Mason Graham. Now that Trent Baalke is not in power, not the GM for the Jaguars, I could see this making a lot of sense. They did draft Mason Smith with a second round pick last year. They have Eric Armstead who's going to play on the interior, but Mason Graham, I think, is a game changer up front. And you talk about getting interior pressure to help out Trayvon Walker and Josh Hines-Allen. I think you could do a lot worse with this pick than Mason Graham for the Jaguars, and I cover the Jags, so I think that'd be a good one. Las Vegas Raiders getting Shedeur Sanders. This is the pairing that has been so commonly mocked and talked about, and it feels like maybe it will happen. Maybe the stars are just going to align for Shador to end up in Vegas. Sanders doesn't have any elite physical traits, doesn't have like great size or athleticism or an overly powerful arm. I think he is very accurate with the football. I think he has some playmaking ability. I think he's going to have to clean up the way he plays from within structure. Stop evading and exiting the pocket so quickly. Stop running back so much. Stop kind of. He drifts in the pocket unnecessarily as well. So those are some things for Shador to clean up. But overall, I think he is going to be a quality starter in the NFL. New York Jets, Tyler Warren. Love this pick for them. You could look back and say maybe they should have drafted Brock Bowers last year, but Olu was a good pick as well. Getting Tyler Warren, who's not Brock Bowers, but I think he can have the same level of impact, but just in a different way. You can line him up in line. You can line him up at Y tight end, in the slot, H back, backfield, wildcat. Like the guy can do it all. He's huge. He's athletic. He's nimble, explosive, great hands, physical as all get out. Played quarterback in high school. So, Tyler Warren, I think, is just a stud that deserves to go in the top 10. Carolina Panthers getting Tet McMillan. I know a lot of Panthers fans want to see a defensive player taken here in the top 10, but giving Bryce Young somebody as talented as Tedero McMillan, who's an absolute monster out there, T-Mac, wonderful nickname. I am a little biased there. Tracy McGrady, Orlando Magic. But I just think that McMillan is a great route runner at his size. He's a nuanced route runner. He's 6'5", 215 pounds, great hands, contested catch guy, but again, also great route runner and has a little bit of yak to his game as well. I think he's going to be a stud in the NFL, so I can see that. Mykel Williams to the Saints feels pretty on par. He's not as big as some of the guys they've gone after at edge. With Mickey Loomis and company, but I do think he fits the bill. Great athlete, great length, very good run defender already. Needs to develop a little bit as a pass rusher, maybe a lot of it, but this one tracks. Chicago Bears taking Tyler Booker at 10. I love this pick. Jordan's stamp of approval here because I love Tyler Booker. I think he is going to be a great pass protector as a guard and maybe not going to be like the best when it comes to doing like outside zone, getting out on the move and all that because he is a huge dude. He's not the most athletic, but he has great length, great strength, great leadership traits as well. He's going to be a stalwart to help out Caleb Williams. I love it. Armand Membu, San Francisco 49ers, yeah. So Armand Membu, speaking of Senior Bowl weigh-ins, 329, 34.5-inch arms. You like the length there. I think that whether he's playing tackle or guard for them, that's a huge addition. I love Armand Membu, and I love the fit with the 49ers. They just need good offensive linemen, and Armand Membu certainly fits the bill. Dallas Cowboys taking Ashton Jeanty. Do we really need to talk about that? We've talked about it so much. I don't think it's the best usage of the Cowboys draft resources necessarily because of all the needs that they have, but this is just an organization that I don't know what the hell they're doing. So, sure, take Ashton Jeanty and maybe he can carry you to success because he is an absolute stud. There's no question about it. Who knows? Cowboys, I don't know what you're doing over there. Miami Dolphins, Kelvin Banks. It's early for me just because I still worry about his balance, falling off blocks a ton. The fact that he really hasn't been asked to get into these true pass sets. He's almost always jump setting, quick setting. So we'll see. We'll see. I liked him a lot over summer, but I don't think you saw the development you wanted to see. Indianapolis Colts taking Jahdae Barry, and very early for him. I have not seen him go this high a lot, but I'm not against it at all because I think whether he's playing outside corner, playing nickel, whatever it may be, he's got all the tools to be a Pro Bowl, if not Pro Bowl, plus caliber starter in the NFL for your secondary. So that's going to be a huge upgrade there, and the Colts need that. Will Johnson falling to the Falcons is something else, I think that Will Johnson deserves to go higher than this. I think that this is a great pick for the Falcons, but the Falcons, it's funny. Every year you're like, they got to take an edge rusher, right? And they never do it. So this would be another example of that. Arizona Cardinals getting Jalen Walker at 16. This is another prospect I'm just not quite as high on because I don't think he has great pass rush tools. I don't think he has great linebacker tape. You're going to have to find a very specific role for him. It's going to be downhill. It's going to be like almost just asking him to attack the football downhill, whether that's at edge or off ball or Sam. I worry a little bit about it. I do, but maybe the Cardinals could figure it out. And Jalen Walker, he is a great athlete and he is a great dude from all reports that I've heard. So we'll see. I'll be pulling for him certainly. Cincinnati Bengals, Walter Nolan. I've done this one before. You know, Nolan plugging in there on the interior, juicing up the interior of that pass rush to help out the guys you have on the edge. New defensive coordinator coming in there, Al Golden. So that's definitely one that I could see tracking. I could also see them taking Kenneth Grant to have an absolute stud on the interior. Seahawks get Kenneth Grant in this one though, and Kenneth Grant, 340 pounds, unbelievably flexible and explosive at that size. I think he's going to be a great run defender, but will also add as a pass rusher a little bit, penetrator, somebody who can push the pocket at the very least and help out your edge guys. So great pick for Seattle there. Jihad Campbell to the Bucks. Look, I would take Jihad Campbell over Jalen Walker if you're talking about somebody who's a hybrid edge / linebacker. I think he's a better linebacker, and I think he actually has more traits as an edge rusher as well. And learning from Levante David, you could do a lot worse than that. Nick Manwari to the Broncos. To me, this is a little high. I like him a lot. I do. You see Derwin James' name invoked here. I don't think that's fair. I don't think he's that same level of athlete. Maybe he will prove me wrong with his testing. I just see a little bit of stiffness at times. I see a little bit of a lack of elite change of direction. And look, I think he's going to be a really, really good starter. I think he's more of a box safety slash, cover two zone. I don't think you have him playing any single high. I don't know that he's always going to be able to keep up with a lot of dudes that are quicker and shiftier, but I think he has a really strong projection to the NFL. This isn't the highest graded player I have or the best fit for the Broncos, in my opinion. I would really like to see them add someone to help out Bo Nix in that offense, but that's just me. Pittsburgh Steelers getting Matthew Golden at 21 overall. I think this is a great fit, and I've mocked, like DJ says here, I've mocked Emeka Ibuka to them. Matthew Golden is more explosive, maybe not quite as precise a route runner, maybe not quite as physical or good with his hands, but he's got everything you could ask for to really kind of help jumpstart that offense. And the question still remains, what are they doing at quarterback? I'm not sure. Los Angeles Chargers getting Colston Loveland, Michigan tight end. This tracks, right? Whether it's Kenneth Grant or Colston Loveland, Tyler Warren, I think, will be long gone, and he's obviously just not a Michigan man, but you can just see the fit. And Colston Loveland is not the same type of tight end at all. He's basically a purely receiving tight end, but Jim Harbaugh has worked with him and knows how to use him and gotten a lot out of him, and I think that giving that type of skill set with his length, his athleticism, his nimbleness, and his ability to run routes and make plays at the catch point at a high level, I think that really will help Justin Herbert in this offense. And, maybe they need to upgrade at offensive coordinator. It's kind of like you always hit that ceiling with a Greg Roman offense, right? But I think Colston Loveland would certainly help. Shamar Stewart to the Packers, yeah, they like to get those crazy athletes up front. And Shamar Stewart at 6'5", 290 pounds, he has great length, great explosiveness. He's going to test unbelievably at his size, and that tracks for the Packers certainly. Malachi Starks to the Vikings would be unbelievable. Assuming Brian Flores is still there, which it looks like he probably will be. Malachi Starks in that defense could be, a Pro Bowl level player, but also just like an unbelievably versatile chess piece that I think that Brian Flores could really get the most out of. Luther Burden falling to the Texans at 25 is ridiculous, man. Let's see what he says. The Texans are in the market for a new offensive coordinator, but they could use some help at receiver too. Burden reminds me of Stephon Diggs, who is headed for free agency. He doesn't remind me of Diggs, really. I think he's a lot more powerful. I think he's a better athlete overall. Regardless of that, though, like Luther Burden, you have Stephon Diggs heading to free agency. You have the Tank Dell injury, which, I hope he heals up just as quickly as he can, but you don't know when he's going to be back. That was a devastating knee injury, right? So Luther Burden pairing him up with Nico Collins, I love that for the Texans, but they also need to really work on offensive line coaching and personnel on the interior, I think, and get that thing moving in the right direction. Josh Connerly to the Rams. I've seen this one a lot. It's good. They need help at tackle, and I think he's a great pass protector. Potentially has all the length, all the traits you could be asking for physically with the foot quickness, the overall athletic ability, the length, all that good stuff. I just kind of want to see Cameron Williams there because I just want to see them maul people. You know, Josh Connerly's not going to maul anyone at the point of attack. Cameron Williams pairing up with the guys they have on the interior there would just be insane. And I think Josh Connerly is a better projection as a pass protector. So I'm not knocking this at all, but just like, selfishly, I just would love to see Cameron Williams at tackle, with Steve Avila or at center or guard with, your two big boys you brought in. Jonah Jackson, I know, had some trouble staying on the field this year. But they could have a monstrous offensive line. They'd already have a monstrous interior. But Josh Connerly, I think it's a good pick overall. Can't knock it. Azareye'h Thomas to the Ravens is an unbelievable pick. I love it. And I know not everybody's as high on Azareye'h Thomas. Maybe not everyone's watched him. From a press tech, unbelievable length, strength, athleticism. I love the pick. He's a top 20 guy for me. So Mike Green going to the Detroit Lions. Short arm kinks, right? Mike Green, he measured in at the Senior Bowl today, and he's like 32.25-inch arms, which is obviously way under thresholds for guys like Trent Baalke, but Trent Baalke ain't making decisions for anyone anymore. Detroit Lions, I would like this fit a lot. He has a lot of nuance as a pass rusher, a lot of speed and explosiveness off the edge. I don't really care about his arm length. Yes, would it be great if he had longer arms? Yeah, but does he need that with his type of game? I don't think he does. I think he's going to be, and learning with and growing with Aiden Hutchinson would be fantastic for him. So I like that pick a lot. Commanders, Josh Simmons. Wow. Josh Simmons should not fall that far, even with the knee injury. And, Savone Ravel has not come off either. That's another guy dealing with the knee injury. Yeah, Josh Simmons for the Commanders would be fantastic. I think he would be great in the Cliff Kingsbury rushing scheme, getting out on the move, and then also protecting Jaden Daniels. Yeah, that's maybe my favorite pick, and I just don't think Josh Simmons should fall that far. Derek Harmon to the Bills, I think makes a lot of sense. He's a really good run defender. The way he can keep offensive linemen off his chest with his length and strength, and then also just has a really solid pass rush as well. I think that Derek Harmon would be a great addition for the Buffalo Bills. The thing with them is, like, how do you get past the Chiefs? How do you do it? I don't know. I really don't know. It's a difficult prospect. They've been so close so many times, and they do it in the regular season, but they just can't do it at the end. I don't think Derek Harmon helps them win that game last night. I don't know. I think maybe better talent on the outside at receiver would have helped them a lot, right? And I know they took my guy Keon Coleman, but he's a rookie going up against Trent McDuffie. That's a tough assignment. Philadelphia Eagles getting TJ Sanders. I love TJ Sanders. I'd be a little surprised with this pick. Usually the Eagles just like take advantage of market inefficiencies and like they draft someone who would just be an unbelievable value, like Savone Ravel here would be an unbelievable value. James Pierce Jr. to the Chiefs here at 32. I think, yeah. But I like Sanders a lot. I think he's undersized interior defensive lineman, but he plays bigger than his size, like 295 pounds. He's really good at locking out offensive linemen as well, similar to Derek Harmon, but he's not nearly as big. But he is more juiced up and athletic. I think he'd be a really strong interior rusher for them. I just don't think that would surprise me if they have him valued that highly just with some of the other guys on the board. Again, including James Pierce Jr., who goes to the Kansas City Chiefs. That would be insane. They've got a lot of talent on their defensive front. Mike Dana was making great plays last night. George Karlaftis is so darn good. I don't think Chris Jones is going anywhere. Adding James Pierce Jr. to that would be lethal. Absolutely lethal. He's got it all from a pass rush perspective, and there's no reason he should be on the board at 32. But this is a really fun mock draft. Daniel Jeremiah always does a great job with this stuff. And again, he is very plugged in around the league, and he is bringing kind of what he's hearing around the league to these mock drafts. So let me know what y'all think in the comment section below. If you enjoy the content here at Rogue Football, it is all draft all the time. Please like and subscribe. Y'all have a good one.